Hello and welcome. Today I'm adding Cowlitz Gamers Adventure Trilogy from the Indie Heroes Collection 2 to my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever. Now this is essentially 3 games in one, but I'm ranking them as one game because separating them would be stupid. The games were developed, I believe, by MTE Games and released on the physical NES cartridges, with proceeds going to charities or something. Anyway, obviously there's no nostalgia here because they're indie games made for old systems, so I'll get straight on to the
story.
You play as Cowlitz, a young adventurer on a mission to rescue friends, and obviously defeat the bad guys, I suppose. There's really not that much more to it than that, so moving on to the
graphics.
Okay, for the most part, let's just say the graphics are functional and not all that impressive. The first game has very simple graphics, small sprites, and they do the job. I couldn't really say they're anything more than just about functional. The other 2 games, well, Cowlitz Gamers 2 and the Lost Levels or whatever it's called, have larger sprites and more detail and more character to them, and I would say they fall into the category of more than functional, decent but not exceptional.
Sound and music.
Generally, the sound effects are quite minimal and not much to talk about, but you have the relevant sound effects you need for the base things like your jumping and hits and what have you. The soundtracks are generally quite cheerful, upbeat, and they're fine. Nothing exceptional here, but nothing irritating. And I would say that the main tune in Cowlitz Gamers 2 is, it's pretty good. Yeah, absolutely fine on that respect.
Gameplay.
The gameplay is very straightforward. On all 3 games, the levels are single screen puzzle platformers. The puzzle often being how to get to the exit, and usually it's just navigating the ladders, avoiding the enemies, maybe collecting the odd item, opening the exit and leaving. Although in the first game you're just collecting items and your level finishes. The first game is much more basic and probably will entertain you less and could probably be overlooked, to be perfectly honest. It's fine but limited. The other 2 games generally get quite challenging. Although there is a bit of a control issue in managing the jumping off of ladders and things can take a moment to get used to, and you'll probably fall to your death a few times before you get used to it. Now, none of the games are overly long or overly deep, but they're entertaining enough, and they're the sort of games that are ideal for relatively short handheld play sessions.
Overall opinion.
I honestly think that Cowlitz Gamers Trilogy is a bit of a hidden gem on Indie Heroes 2. Yes, none of the games are particularly long or deep, but as I mentioned, they are ideal for small handheld gaming sessions, and though the levels do offer a reasonable challenge, I can't really think of much else to say. They're absolutely fine for what they are. I enjoy them in small doses, and they're a perfect entry to an Indie Heroes collection.
Ranking.
Placing Cowlitz Gamers Trilogy on my overall list where I rank every Evercade game ever, I have decided to put it above Twinkle Star Sprites but below Ira the Crow Maiden, placing it at 193 out of 402 games I've ranked so far. This was a tough one to rank as the games themselves are simple and they're fun in the right context and dosage. And even saying this now, I'm thinking maybe I put them a little bit too high, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, they're fun in the right context, so here it goes. But anyway, that's enough for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.